Well, thank you for being there. Right now, let's get into the perspective of the topic. And if you look at the 2-year administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you take a look at the headlines. There have been some form of reforms that we've heard, or what we've been hearing, particularly have been talking about political policy reforms and everything. And you talk about the economy in general. Now, let's get a deep perspective from that. And I'm being joined by Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze. He was the former presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party. He joins me from the United States of America. Dr. Nwachukwu, if you can hear me, glad to have you join us on the program. Good evening and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much indeed. Well, let me begin by asking, what is your own overall assessment? It's like yesterday, we all know that it marked the 2 year of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in office. So now, the past 2 years of his administration, give us your own assessment since the last 2 years he assumed office.
I would say, I would say average. Is what I would say.
Average. So when you say average, you mean it's not so good and it's not so bad, is it?
It's just barely passing. It's barely passing, but it's not getting B. It's not getting an A. We can achieve so much more in the country, Nigeria.
I mean, you think he could have achieved more, or he would have achieved more in the last 2 years?
He or me could achieve more in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Nigeria is a country blessed by God. God gave us all the minerals, gold, silver, iron, tin, bauxite. There's nothing that God did not give us in Nigeria. God gave us food, agriculture, fish, cow, milk, beans, rice. What is it that God did not give us? We have rain 9 months in a year. Other countries like Saudi Arabia don't have a rain once in a year. So what is it? You don't have earthquake. You don't have hurricane. You don't have tornado. Nigerian people are very intelligent. The young ones are very brilliant. They're very good with computers and they're very good with learning. It's because we're not paying attention to the young people and we're not developing what we have for the benefit of all the people. That's why we're not doing well. That's why you go into Nigeria, they say it's hunger. As soon as I come from the airport, as soon as I'm at the airport, everybody says hunger. Everybody working in the airport is hungry. You come in the road, people come transport. Gas is very expensive. That shouldn't be happening. We should be a great country heading to become a great world power.
All right, then, would you have we can see that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took bold step. Number one, by removing the fuel subsidy the first day he got into office. So would you say these bold steps have yielded fruit, or they just make a pretty paper headlines?
On the long run, that's the right step to take, but he should have phased it in slowly over a 2 years period. He should not have done it all at the same time. He should have increased it every 3 months. You know what you pay for gas here in Nigeria is very low compared to America or Europe or anywhere in the world. When I come, people are crying for the cost of fuel. In Europe, it costs like $10 to get like 1 liter of fuel. In Nigeria, what you're paying is way too low. He's making the right step, but he's making it too quick. He's shocking people too much. It needs to be done gradually over a 2 years period so that people can adjust.
Okay, let me get your own perspective again. We've seen the reforms. There have been more reforms. The government, this government particularly, have talked about more reforms. Now, we have so many reforms, but in your own opinion, which of those reforms do you think really can shape Nigeria's future?
I'm not aware of the reforms exactly that it did. You have to name them and tell me what it is, then I can tell you. But if you have to name the reforms that you're referring to. But I know I've been preaching in all these channels about what we need to do. I'm the one that was pushing for education to be free. I'm the one that's pushing for skill acquisition. I'm the one that's been pushing for school fees to be paid for free, skill acquisition. After they learn skills, then they should be given a loan to buy the equipment they need to start their own business. I'm the one that says you can't depend on government to give all Nigerian people a job. Most of the jobs have to be private sector. driven. That's the only way you're going to make it. I'm the one that's been saying you have to manufacture things in Nigeria and ship out of the country. I'm the one that says open up the seaport well in Port Harcourt, Cross River, Calabar, Warri, open it up. I'm the one that says build rail connecting all the state capitals and leading them to the ocean. I'm the one that says we have to make things. We have the ability to make things in Nigeria. If you don't make things, your Naira will be nothing. It's now 1 to 1,600. It will be 1 to 10,000. I'll be telling you, we have rubber. We have petroleum byproduct. That's what you use to make tire. We can make tire in Nigeria and supply the whole of Africa and the world. We have lead and lithium. That in Nigeria, that's what it takes to make battery. Why are we importing battery and all of that in Nigeria? We can make the food and ship out of Nigeria. We can manufacture things. In India, where they are making vehicles. For the past 15 years, they make buses, they make tippers, they make trailers, they make Jeep cars. How come you're not promoting it? You should encourage people like that so you can have something to ship out. GDP means gross domestic product. That means what America is making compared to you. What is France making compared to you? We're not making anything. That's why an naira is worth nothing, is worth less than the paper that is printed on. You have to make things, manufacture things. Now you're importing toothpick, you're importing matches. You should be ashamed of yourself. You know, we have people that can do these things in Aba, in Onitsha, in any way they can do it. Now, I'm not talking about 20 years from now. You need to encourage that. Open up the airport like Enugu should be full international. We want 10 planes. Kaduna, Kano, not just Lagos and Abuja. We can make more money on tourism more than oil. We can make more money on tourism. We're not exploiting that. We're all depending on oil. Depending on oil will lead you to fail. That's why people started working. When I was young, in the Yoruba land, they used to have cocoa everywhere. In the East, they used to have palm oil everywhere. In the North, they used to have groundnut. And we were doing very well compared to how we're doing today. We need to stop depending on that, on oil, and go back to how our forefathers used to live, go back to agriculture. I believe in agriculture. I have businesses in Nigeria, agro-based businesses. I have more than 10 factories in Nigeria that's making rice, gari. We make it, and we're selling it. We're making fish. We have thousands of fish. We make in Nigeria. We're making pig. I have 2,000 pig ranch. And all those things we can do for ourselves. We can feed ourselves. We shouldn't be importing any food because we have the land. All that goes back to why are we not able to do it? You have security problems. You have people coming from Sahara Desert and they go into the bush without permission of the towns, without permission of the king or the president of the town, entering the bush without permission, raping women, killing children, and killing the farmer. When the farmer is dead, there will be no food produced. The farmer needs those crops to eat, to train his children to college, to train them, send them to the hospital. No one have right to come and take away another person living what gives them food because of their own interest. Nobody have such right. That must be stopped. Nobody have right to come and be killing and murdering women, children, and raping them. Nobody have such right, and those things must come to an end. Why is it that in Nigeria, some people can carry AK-47 and moving around and nobody arrests them? And then they go into villages in Benue and Plateau and they kill 100 people and nothing happens. When they catch those people, the police release them the next day with their gun. All those things are the evil that's affecting us. We are hungry because we can't produce food. Because you have the terrorists, Fulani, herdsmen, terrorists that's coming and terrorizing and killing people and scaring farmers from going to their farm. All the villages in Nigeria needs to organize. I've been saying it. All towns need to have their own vigilante force. They need to organize from the state level, local government level, and town level. They need to be ready. You can't be waiting for police to come from Abuja to come and rescue you. If you're waiting for that, everybody from a village will be wiped out. They want your land. That's what they want. But we are not going to let them have it. I'm calling on all the town presidents and all the kings and all the leadership to organize their villages to protect themselves. If you're daughter of a town and you're son of a town, you should be able to help your people. All this money you're making in Abuja, you should give some to your village to help them prepare to defend themselves, so that when you go back, you don't see a ghost town. So those are the things. And in terms of industrialization that I'm talking about, you need 24 hours electricity. In all the countries in Caribbean that are smaller than us, they all have 24 hours electricity. Why do we not have electricity when we have gas flooding in the rivers? Delta, Niger Delta, you have flooding gas. That's gas you put in the turbine that makes electricity 24 hours a day. That electricity will be there forever until God comes back to earth. We have rivers. Brazil use rivers to dam everywhere. They have 24 hours electricity. South Africa have coal. They use coal for electricity. We have coal in Enugu and some part of Benue or Kogi. We have coal. We're not using our brains. We have what other people are using. China is still using coal. America is still using coal. We have the coal sitting down, dormant, doing nothing. We are flooding gas. We have rivers not being used. And you say you don't have electricity. It doesn't make sense. If somebody doesn't have anything in their head, something is wrong with somebody in their head. That's what I call mumu. They come here, they buy iron from us, zinc from us. They buy copper from us. They buy aluminum from us. They build Toyota. They build Nissan. And then they send it back and we buy Armada. We buy Jeep. We are like mumu. We can do those things here in Nigeria. We need to start making things and start selling things. At least start with Africa. African Union should not just be a political union. It needs to be economic union. Nigeria needs to be on top of it as the head of that African economic union. We need to be making things that foreigners are bringing to Africa and in Nigeria and selling it to Nigeria. That's something we can do now. We need to invest in tourism. You have a lot of people who were taken into slavery in Caribbean and Europe and America. They want to come back to where their fathers came from. We can have 15 million visitors every year. Each one of them will carry $3,000 or $5,000. They are hungry to know where their fathers came from. They are hungry to know how to tie wrapper. The women, they want to learn how to tie hair. They want beads. They want African clothes. They like African music. They like African movie. I go to Caribbeans. I go there to break kola nut for them. They are trying to be like you. They are trying to learn how to dance African dance. All they watch is African movie, Nollywood. All they watch is Afrobeat.
Dr. Washukwu, give me a moment. Talking about security, I don't know if you saw the video that a senator from Kogi State raised in the House during plenary, where he has alleged that Boko Haram and insurgency is being sponsored by Nigerian military and some sort of elites and politicians. Now, I want to understand, for such allegation, or as he has alleged, coming from a sitting senator, how worried are you about that? Because I have listened to you carefully and you've talked about security. It's quite understandable when you say that people can no longer go to their farms. Not just people going to their farms, people can't even live freely or go to sleep with their eyes closed when we don't have at least maximum security. So what did you make out of this allegation?
I believe the allegation. The sponsors are from Nigerian leadership and the military. I believe that. But you have to be fool not to respond properly. I told you, send money to your village, help buy them equipment. Where I come from, we buy them Nissan, we buy them motorcycle, we buy them equipment for defense. If you are depending on army and police to come from Abuja, everybody from where you come from will die. You will know that you will have nobody. And they want your land and they want it desperately. They are coming from Sahara Desert with nothing. So if you don't respond, it's your fault. I'm warning you now. I'm warning everybody in Nigeria, and organize yourself. Send money back to the village, empower the town union, empower the president, empower the king. We are able to defend ourselves. We are more motivated than the people in the police and the army. We have more motivation. They are not motivated. They are not well paid. The police people are not well paid. In Nigeria, I see them They rent one small room and they sleep in the room on the floor.
But when you say send money,
don't
can you be specific about send money? You said send money or empowerment, because I'm wondering if you say send money, how much more can whoever is sending the money can actually afford to be able to send money?
Whatever you can send to your town. Your town have organization. They have organization of your town that runs your town. They have a king. They are the one that prepares security. They are the one, that money will help buy motorcycle. Some women from where I come from in America, they send money, they bought 9 motorcycles for the village. Women, I'm not talking about the men. And the men send money and we bought Jeep, we bought Nissan. Whatever you can, just if you're making $100, send them $10. If all of you do that, your place will be strong. If not, you'll be sorry. If you're living in Abuja, you will be living there forever. You will never go back to your town. They want our land. Our land is precious and is very good. Our life is very important. Life of every Nigerian is very important. No Nigerian life should be wasted and lost because somebody wants our land. I said, if people come with the cow to eat your yam and cassava, the owner of the farmer own that cow. I said, if they shoot anybody or kill anybody, those people that did that cannot escape to where they went from. The land, African land of our forefathers will open up and swallow them. You have to, otherwise you will go extinct. Read about history of other people who went extinct. It's not too late. That's why I'm telling you to do something now.
Beautiful. So you haven't been on this show without talking about how much empowerment the youth need. Actually, over times you've been on this show, you've talked about the youth, you've talked about empowerment, and you've talked about infrastructure as well, but you've been very particular about the youth. Now, I want to understand from your own end, we've seen that this government are saying they're making so much reform, but I want to understand, do you think we can actually make progress in making these reforms when it is not reforming how it's treating the younger people?
Yeah, that's been my main message all along. For me, I'm a doctor, an American doctor. I am successful. I have everything in life. I don't need anything from anybody. But I feel sorry for the youth. When I'm looking at people like you, I cry. It's like you don't have a future.
People like
we
me?
have to pay. Yeah, people that are young. I mean, people that are young like you.
Okay.
You're not old.
I'm not. Exactly.
Okay, I'm talking about young people. When I'm looking at young people, I feel sorry for them. And this government needs to spend money, the oil money, on educating them for free. We need to provide health care that's subsidized. We need to, when they study what they get, you don't need everybody to go to university. Like 20% in America goes to university, the rest goes to trade school, technical school. They learn electrician, air condition. They learn how to make roof. That's why you need to spend the money teaching them. So they're self-sufficient. They can support themselves and they can marry a woman. Everybody don't have to do government work. All the things that the government built, they all failed in Nigeria. Nigeria used to have airways. Nigerian Airways, it was a failure. Nigeria used to have iron and steel. It might still be there. It's a failure. Nigeria used to have refinery. It's a failure. They have Alomaco. It was a failure. They used to have textile industries in all the states when I was young. They all closed because government can't run anything. You need to be run in the sector of the private sector, private sector or public-private sector. You need to train the children. We can make computers in Nigeria. We can build cars. We're already building cars. We can make refrigerators. We can make tires. We can make clothing in Nigeria. And open up tourism so that we will be flooded with like 11 million people every year. When they come, they will spend their dollar in Nigeria. The people who are selling necklace or clothes will be making money. People who are making drums will be making money. That's what they want. They want to come and dress. They want to come and learn how you dress, how you put your hair tie, how you tie your wrapper. That's what they want. They want to learn how you do hair. They even, on YouTube, they're learning how to make egusi soup. They're learning how to make jollof rice in America, the African Americans. You have a lot going for you, but you're not using it.
But then it does look like a lot of Nigerians, especially the young people, prefers to live outside Nigeria, I mean abroad, because report has it that thousands of people, particularly the health sector practitioners, have over time migrated. Like, it's that bad that even when you get to healthcare centers these days, you barely find, hands to work, because a lot of Nigerian healthcare personnel decide or desire to live abroad rather than Nigeria here.
There is nothing wrong with exposure. When you go out, you learn something what other people know how to do better than you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going and getting experience, but they will come back if we have a good government and things are running. Like me, I'm hungry to go back. I come home Nigeria 3 times a year. Now I'm going to start coming 6 times a year. I'm beginning to shift back to Nigeria. I have businesses. All those companies I have is for the youth. I'm employing like 300 youth working for me. They run our whole factory, manager, secretary, clerk, accountant, drivers. I'm doing it for them, not for me. I don't need their money. The one I'm getting from America as a doctor is more than enough for me. But I have all these factories. My farm is like 4 miles wide, big, length wide. Rice, we're making rice. You will see my rice, Quincy rice. You see my gari, Quincy gari. We have palm trees, palm oil, pineapple. We're planting it. Young people are working. You don't have to be working in the presidency to have a job. You can just know how to do plumber, and you take care of your wife and kids, electrical, air condition, motor, building a house. That's what I'm talking about. That's what most of our people need to be trained for. Make it easy for them to go by helping them pay for the school fees and giving them loan to buy equipment, and they pay back. They have to pay the loan back. I'm not talking about giving it to them. That's what other people do. America opens the door for all the countries' people to come. They take the best brain of all the countries in America. That's why America is number 1. They pick the best brain. So our children living, I'm not against that. If 1,000 doctors are living every year, then train 2,000 doctors. Train more doctors. Because
what if they all decide to leave?
No, all of them wouldn't leave. And
but a lot of them feel like the greener pasture is there over there.
No, they will go and taste it, then they will come back. Look, most of the money that comes from Nigeria is not from Nigerian oil. Most of the money is from repatriated money. If Nigeria earns 25 billion every year, 60 or 70 billion comes from overseas. We send a lot of money to the banks. And all the buildings you see in Nigeria is all the people in Obodo Ibo that's in overseas. All the new buildings is them that are building it. Getting exposed to outside people is not a bad thing. If they are taking 2,000 of your nurses, train 5,000. And then you're not paying them well. The ones that are there, you're not paying them. That's why they're living. You pay them little, and then 6 months they haven't received their check, and you pay them very little. I already mentioned the police people are not well paid. You need to adjust how much you're paying the security people. Why should you let somebody carry a gun and then they're hungry? And then pay the doctors, the nurses well. They will stay, and the ones that leave will come back. For me, I'm coming back already. I'm coming back. I would like to come and be with you people to eat egusi soup, onubu soup, amala. I would like to come and eat there.
Well, indeed, Africa is a beautiful place. I mean, particularly Nigeria, we are blessed with so much. There are so many things we're blessed with. So, of course, we'll be glad to have you back. But looking at how passionate and how often you've spoken about the youth empowerment, I want to understand, you ran for the office of the presidency last election, the 2023, and some have argued that even though it's so soon, you've seen political parties making move already for the 2027 yet to come election. And I'm wondering, there is a saying that goes by, you don't use Nigerians, or rather we use 99% of the time to talk about the problem and just use 1% to talk about the solution. Now, how do you really want to make that impact? Because you're not just going to keep talking about it. It's about making a move. It's about making impact. Now, let's bring it down to grassroots politics. When it even comes to grassroots politics, you're not even present because of course, you live abroad. I want to understand, do you have plans, or will you be willing to migrate from America to Nigeria to for the impact of what you've been saying to be felt, at least?
I'm doing that already. I come every 3 months. I spend 2 months in America. I spend 1 month in Nigeria.
But Nigeria will argue that they want a president who is present.
When I become president, I will become present all the time. When I become president.
But then, if you don't, you have to, you have to, will I say, create the road, or at least clear the road of, you know, get to mix with the people, get to relate with them, get to know them, grassroots particularly, before that can even be achieved. If you're going to be, or do you intend to be a politician from afar, or rather a president from America while governing Nigeria?
No, if I'm Nigerian president, I will be in Nigeria. But I'm sending messages. All the television stations have been calling me and talking to me. I'm sending messages to encourage the youth so they don't give up. You know, for me, that's our future. If we lose the youth, then we're finished. We don't have any future going. It's not life or death situation for me. I'm self-made. I want to help people. I'm doing it. And if you go to Anakwenze, foundation.org, you see all the things I'm doing. I give more than 200 scholarships every year. I employ more than 300 or 400 people. I help widows. I give them like 300,000 naira. Like 100 widows, I give them 100,000, 300,000 each to start doing something. I'm doing something. I'm having an impact as much as I can. If Nigerian people want me, they like my message, then they should encourage me to move further up. You know, last time I ran, people told me to go sell my house in Nigeria and America so I can distribute to them. In convention, I refused to do that.
So you can distribute to them? How?
Yeah, they want me to give them cash. When we ran, some people running with me were giving a bag of $25,000. $20,000, some give $15,000, some give $10,000. They were giving it to 1,000 delegates. You know, those people are politicians. They've worked for the government, the state, and they stole all that money. They didn't earn any of that money. They are not using their brain. For me, I'm a doctor. I'm using my brain to work. So when you come and people they're not interested in listening to your message. All they want to know is where's your bag that you're giving to them. Nigerian people have to take responsibility for themselves. If you want something good, you need to try for it. I'm trying. Nigerian people should try out to reach out to me. I will do a better job than all the Nigerian presidents you've had combined. I'm more educated than all of them.
But then you have to be a present politician, or let's say a present president for Nigeria to be able to work with you. Or don't you think so?
I said if I'm president, I will be there. If I'm not the president, I will be coming and going. I'll be going to America, I'll be coming to Nigeria. I belong to the two countries. I'm bringing technology back to Nigeria. My knowledge, all these things I learned. You know, I have Doctor of Medicine degree, I have Masters in Business, I have Masters in Public Health. American people train me. I'm here and I'm there. So I think that will benefit Nigeria. If they want me, I will come back full time. But there's no need of me coming down there just to do nothing.
All right, so aside education, like I listened, you said from the beginning, not everybody would get a cola job. And I don't know, you also mentioned not everybody will go to school, but I think in this century, in 21st century, it's very advisable that at least people get the basic education. Right? We understand that not everybody would have a white collar job. What other form of empowerment are you going to introduce to Nigerian youth to, you know, keep their mind at work?
I didn't say that people shouldn't go to school. I didn't say that. I said 25% of Americans go to university. The rest go to trade school, technical school, where they learn things by hand,
okay,
like electrical, plumbing.
Right.
That's what I said.
Okay.
That's what I said, and that's what I want for Nigeria. Everybody don't have to have PhD. Most people need to learn how to do carpenter work, plumbing work, electrical work, know how to make roads. You know, there's money in that. In America, a plumber makes more than the doctor. In America, when they just come to your door, you have to pay $900. So all the money is not being in having master's degree. A lot of people who are doing government job with all these degrees in Nigeria, they're not making anything. And they're not producing anything. So I told you, for the youth, we're going to train them. We're going to give them loan to start something. We're going to provide free healthcare or almost free healthcare for Nigerians at the primary care level. Primary care centers, we do that. So it is.
All right, now let's get a bit into 2027 because, like I said, People have argued that it's very pretty much early, but then we've already seen political parties making move. Politicians are making move. In fact, as of 2 weeks ago, the APC have endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the only sole candidate come 2027. Now, you want to get all these things done. 2027 is fast beating around the corner. What other steps or what are you doing ahead of 2027 election, you particularly?
Many parties are there. I still have those options, not just PDP. Many parties are there. I still have those options. But the main thing that I'm trying to tell you is that I'm trying to send message to pull up the young people. That's my main thing, to pull up the young people. It's not do or die for me if I'm president. If I'm president, it's good. If I'm not going to kill myself. But I want the young people to grow and do well, to be like youth in America. We can start making plans. We can start going to moon. We can start going to Mars. That's where my focus is.
But at least you're going to work towards that, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So yes, that's what I want to understand. Ahead of 2027, what plans are you making? Are you looking at moving away from the People Democratic Party due to its internal party crisis, or do you still intend to run still for this position under the People Democratic Party? If not, what are the strategies you're putting in place to at least for you to leverage on, and if God have it, if you become the president, you'll be able to achieve all that you've been saying and talking about youth empowerment?
I'm still in People's Democratic Party, but okay. The other parties are calling me. About 5 parties.
Regardless of what is going on in the party now, because it does. Not like it does. We can see that at the moment PDP is unable to put its house together, and people have questioned what is their plan ahead of 2027? Can they still contest as the opposition party?
They're the one that messed themselves up. When we ran, they messed themselves up. The northern candidate have run Buhari for 8 years in power. After he's left, then all these northerners are coming back again. So they don't think the rest of Nigerians are human beings. That's why nobody is going to vote for another northerner to take power again until the southerners have ruled at least for 8 years or more. So if they come back again with those Atiku or all those people, they will lose. They will lose more than ever. They will lose the whole southern and middle Beltern states. They will lose. Everything they have now as PDP will be gone. And that's the fact. They need to learn to relax and sit back and watch and see how other people can lead. Other people have ability to lead better than them because they've been in power all this time and Nigeria has been messed up all this time. It's time to try a different type of leadership.
As a member of the party, I want to understand what you've contributed so far as long as for the times that this crisis have been going on in your party. I mean, you seem to be a distant member from the indication and you're speaking to us from US. So I want to understand what impact or what moves, what have you contributed since this crisis, at least to be able to put the People's Democratic Party in order?
The same message I just gave you. I talked to them. I talked to the leadership. They need to allow power to move around the country. There's no one tribe that have all the knowledge. Every tribe has skills and abilities that others don't have. They need to let other people rule so they can see what they can do. That's what they're not doing until they come to that understanding. They are going to fail. And they are moving to another party with the same idea. The party they are moving to will fail. So if it comes to it, if they don't want to change, then it's let Tinubu continue.
All right, it's been wonderful speaking with you, Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze. So unfortunate, our time no longer permits us, and this is where we'll have to draw the conversation. But I must thank you for being on the show. It's been wonderful having you, and we hope to have you some other time. Thank you so much, Dr. Anakwenze Nwachukwu.
Thank you very much.
Right, viewers, Dr. Anakwenze Nwachukwu has been speaking with us, and he's the former presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party, aspirant, I beg your pardon. Not a candidate, an aspirant. So he's been speaking to us about the economy in general and, of course, the youth empowerment, the Nigerian youth, the young people particularly. It's been wonderful having him, and this is where we'll have to draw the curtain. But before I go, let me lend my voice as a patriotic Nigerian to say congratulations to Mr. President on his 2-year anniversary in office. We hope that all the reforms, all the promises there were so much promises made by this government during campaign, and of course when they assume office, we are still hoping, Nigerians are still hoping, and Nigerians are still going to hold the government accountable at the end of the 4 years of this particular government. Until we come here some other time, but for the meantime, this is where I'll have to say a good evening to you. Keep watching Kaftan Television. I am Messi Emelite. Have yourself a beautiful weekend ahead. Bye.